So, hello. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'm here now with Mikke, and we're recording this little map review, and we thought we'd put this at the end of the video and show you guys a little bit in more detail our route and how we succeeded. So, Mikke is also here.
Hello.
So, yes, there
I'm
he is.
joining in from Scotland, and it's already passed almost 2 months or so from when we were walking, and now we're finally reviewing what we actually did and where we went.
But yeah, let's look at the route that we did. As the orange line, that's like the straight line, so that's from the point A, point B, starting point to the end point. This is the line that we needed to follow and that we wanted to go through. And then if I zoom in a little bit closer, you can see this blue line. And this line is the actual route that we did. So this is the GPS data that we got out of the GPS machine, and now we've overlaid both of them here. Let's go to the starting point where we start our journey. So all the way on the west side of Lempäälä, and yeah, here you can see us. Mikke put on the GPS machine. We filmed a little bit of video here, and then we started our journey. So we passed a house on the right straight away, and the first few 100 meters were pretty straightforward. We did already have to cross a few properties here, but as you can see, like, I can actually show you with this ruler that for example here we only deviated about 7 meters, so that wasn't so much.
But most of those small bumps are just 2 to 5 meters, and they're mainly due to the GPS just bouncing around a bit.
And if we go forward, so we had a nice open field, a little bit of forests, and crossed one road here. This was all still very easy, and I think we were all both like very comfortable with this terrain. Nothing big happened, but here is where, if you saw the video, if you remember, Mikke started to like take off some of his clothes. So this is where that happened, and here you can see it's very interesting how even though Mikke stood completely still throughout the whole time, this is what the GPS data showed up to us.
Yeah, every time we're standing still somewhere, the GPS is just going crazy and jumping all over the place. Even though we are staying in the same location, it's just jumping. How many? Yeah, like 15, 20 something meters everywhere.
And you will see like throughout the whole journey that we had quite a few of these instances happen where we just stand still and then the GPS still shows us like, oh, you've been going around in a circle for like 12 meters or something. But yeah, here Mikke took off some of his clothes. We ventured forward, and here's the first unexpected surprise that we had. So we crossed the road, and we did see this ditch over here, and of course we thought, it's already winter, lots of snow, it'll be frozen, but it was not frozen at all. But
we would have had to go all the way. I don't know, it would have probably been, actually, it looked like it was even deeper than waist deep or anything, so it's a bit tricky to try and break off the ice that is there and at the same time go forward. So it's not really worth it if you can just hop on a couple of meters, like 5 meters to the side.
Yeah.
Since we were rocking with the road anyway, that was there.
And then this is the nice sunflower field that we crossed, and right about here when we entered this forest, like this is where it started to get tricky. But yeah,
and that kind of forest was the more annoying one, since there is, well, I don't know how recent these pictures are on the maps, but it's filled with these small trees that have not really grown yet.
Yeah.
And you have just a hugely dense forest of these small trees that that are scratching your face and everything, and you just have to kind of stumble through them.
There was a little nice open field here, but then pretty much from here on now, like, it was just full of forest.
Yeah, and I feel like these kind of small waves on the map is mainly due to me just. I was looking at the GPS the whole time, but it was always kind of updating, that it was showing me that suddenly I'm a couple of meters to the right, And then when I try to do a correction movement to the left, I go too much to the left suddenly, and then it's just kind of bouncing back and forward from too much on either side, and it's just a bit hard to try and actually see where the actual line is.
Yeah,
I feel like for the most time we could have gone easily on a straight line if we just knew where the straight line is.
Yeah, so taking like all of that into consideration, like I think we did pretty dang well in these forest areas.
Definitely.
Lots of little small waves and things, and what is again like I wonder how much that is. Like, let's see, that's like we went 15 meters backwards. But yeah, maybe we had like some sort of break there as well. I can't really remember anymore.
I think it was that we were just stopping for a while and it was just bouncing on.
So yeah, so far, like when excluding these anomalies here, like I would say we've been like pretty much always within 10 meters so far.
Yeah, I think there was like only something like 7 meters.
Oh, there we go. 10.5
okay.
Maybe. Yeah, roughly within 10 meters.
Yeah,
we've been so far.
10. Well, in one of our routes, we could have crossed this Siisijärvi, and right next to it we would have actually crossed. There's a town-controlled fireplace that you can go and make fires in, Siisijärven nuotiopaikka.
Yeah.
So we would have crossed straight there, which would have been a great place for having something to eat, but we would have had to cross the lake, which definitely wasn't frozen enough for that.
And right about here, where you see this big blob of lines, this is where Mikke gave us the update right about in the middle way of the video and the journey as well, where we were completely tired and exhausted. And I still remember when we filmed this bit right here, like at least I was completely dead. Like I just wanted to sit down, be there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and compared to the line that is before that blob, it's relatively straight, but then right after where I mentioned that the forest is really dense, you can see how it's bouncing, going zigzag all over the place, because it's just the fact that it's so dense that you can't just go straight, and also just trying to interpret the GPS.
Right. Yeah.
But in there as well, like it's only like 5 meters or something, even though it looks like it's going around.
Yep, roughly 5 meters.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that little very dense forest area, there was about like a kilometer, I think, before, again, some weird GPS things going on, before we finally got out of the forests and we got onto this nice open field, which we crossed, and then we crossed very nicely right between these two houses, so we didn't have to actually go through their yards. And we reached this paved road, and this is the bit where Mikke's dad came by to give us some spare batteries for the GPS, and he also gave us some drinks. And this is this place where we like stood for maybe half an hour, maybe a bit more than half an hour, in the chilly breeze.
Yeah, just waiting in the darkness for a while.
Yeah. When we arrived, it was still not so dark, like we were able to see very well, but then when we got the batteries and we were good to go, like then it was completely dark from there on forwards.
Yeah, it comes dark pretty fast, but luckily when you're near some inhabited places, there is the street lights that help you a bit, and with all the snow, of course, it's reflecting light for you. But in the forest, it would have just been completely pitch black.
Yeah. So yeah, we were really glad that we got out of the thick forests before it really got dark, because otherwise it would have been really, really difficult for us. But then we crossed a few more fields, and then there's the railway we also needed to cross. Then we arrive to this big mess, which is the frozen river. And
and apparently I left the GPS on for the whole time that we were there, which was probably like 2 hours to stand. Well, I mean, we were moving a little bit, but we were not definitely moving sideways at all, so...
Yeah, so for like, this is 2 hours of GPS data right here. And again, there might be some mistakes and anomalies here, but like, if you look at the line, like we only deviated about 50 meters, which is pretty dang well, I would say.
Yeah, and I would say that spike right there, I would say that we never went there that it's like maximum 10.
Yeah, something like this, 8-9 meters.
Yeah, and unfortunately we only have like 2 clips of that because it was a bit. It was cold, it was a bit hard to at the same time try to do something and at the same time film, which would be great that we would have something like a GoPro. Our cameras were just getting wet all the time as well with the snow and kind of hail that was going on. And just trying to fumble on stuff in the darkness is not really optimal either.
Mikke and I did manage to get a few clips with our phones, so that's what you see in the video as well. So after about like 2 hours of scrambling here, we got out. I believe this was like a factory that we crossed through, and here maybe it was like, you know, tempting to have this road, so we just decided, okay, let's go through this road. But I don't remember there was like no fences or anything, so we could have in theory just gone straight here, but maybe the road was so tempting that we just decided to go through the road.
Yeah, I feel like there's some of these that we could have easily went through, and then we just have decided that no, let's just go here, it's not a lot of deviation. Even though we should attempt to not get any deviation, but still like...
Right. But then we crossed the road here, and this is the big residential area at the very end that we needed to cross. And we passed a few houses here, and this is the very unfortunate ditch that we encountered. Maybe Mikke can explain a little bit what happened here.
Well, I think when we originally planned, we just thought that it would be completely frozen because it just looks like a super small ditch that is maybe a couple of meters across or 1 meter across or something, and it's just frozen to walk past or just jump across even. But what is it showing? Like 3 meters or something?
Yeah, 3.2 or roughly 3 meters.
Yeah. And also because the banks of any kind of rivers you can't really walk on them either. And it's kind of, I mean, it would have been possible to walk through the river, to just break off the ice, but at this point it just didn't seem worth it. We were not going to make it anyway, but we may as well just go to the nearby bridge and get a little bit of deviation, maximum 20 meters or something. It didn't look like much when we were looking at the GPS screen and trying to measure the distance. Yeah. But in reality, it's a little bit more. It's about 28 meters to
28
deviate
meters
from there. And then, then it seemed that there was a lot of people home, and we just didn't want to go straight back to the properties that had fences and everything. So we just thought that we will walk on the road over there until we get back to our route.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I believe this is the biggest deviation that we had throughout the entire route. It's this 28 meters when we went through the bridge. And
I feel like at this point it didn't make any difference anyway. We were not going to make it, so why just get ourselves wet for no reason?
Right. But then when we got back to this road, we did go back to the line, and there was some construction going on here, even though this shows nothing. There was like some kind of building being built here.
Yeah, it was almost a ready house there, but there wasn't at least any people home yet.
Yeah, and then so we passed that through fine, but then from this house, a woman did see us, and she came outside to like ask and yell at us like, "What are you two doing in our yards?"
Yeah, that this is not a shortcut that you can just walk around here, which of course we were a little bit too ambitious and rude with just going past their window while they're watching TV in their living room, because it's already nighttime and everyone is home, so it's not as easy as during the day where you can just go unnoticed. So obviously we did apologize to her and try to explain that we have this special mission that we have to succeed in, which she didn't really want to hear about, so we just continued and apologized a bit.
Yep, we promised her not to do it ever again.
Yeah. So next time we would choose a different route and pass on some other poor person's house.
Yeah. So then here we passed through this one house again, and we didn't want to go through like right next to the house, so we went a bit through the road to the house. We went there.
But still quite close to there. Just going next to their garage or something.
Yeah. Right next to that. Then we went through their backyard, and here is where we encounter like very, very thick, and I think they were also thorny bushes. So we were trying to look for like a way to pass through, but we eventually did find one way here.
Yeah, and right when we emerged from the bushes to the dark yard of someone, there was actually someone standing there, right in front of the house, and we just kind of almost bumped into him. Like I was a couple of meters away from him, and I don't know if he was just smoking in there or something, but we just apologized and realized that okay, maybe let's just take a little bit of detour to the right here to not go straight into their house and have to explain a lot.
Yeah, and that resulted in like, let's see, 23 meters of deviation, roughly.
Yeah, that's the second biggest one.
Yeah.
And I feel like those two are the only ones that are above 20, that there was maybe a few that were 15, 10 something. But these two in the end, we didn't carry that much anymore either.
Yeah, these two were definitely the biggest deviations we had. So yeah, we got on the road, and then there was this underpass for the highway, and this is where we ended our journey. This is where we also shot the video that was all muffled by the wind, and we had to do like a voiceover for it. But yeah, this is where we finished, I believe, right there.
Yeah, just a little bit out from the tunnel, and it's bouncing around a bit with the GPS again.
Yeah, but I have to say overall, like, I'm at least really pleased that, if we ignore these two, like, I'm really surprised that throughout the whole trip we were always within, like, I have to say at least 15 meters. That was really surprising to me that we actually managed to be that close to the line.
Overall, even though we have done our fair share of hiking before and we have been in the Finnish military and everything, we were not really prepared for how tough and especially time-consuming this would be, just going in the thick snow and trying to figure out where the straight line actually is. So that was the main takeout from this, that we should have had a lot more time to really do this well. I don't doubt that we couldn't have finished the rest of the route, but it just didn't seem like worth it at this point, when it was already we thought that we could just do it in a day. Oh, how naive we were at that point.
Yeah, definitely for like our first attempt at this straight line mission, like, I would say this was a job well done for both of us.
Yeah, definitely. But can we do the next one during summertime instead?
Yeah, please. I think that would make our journey a lot more easier.
Yeah, but we can't make it too easy either. Have to be some challenges on the way. Have to cross some rivers or something.
Yes, during summertime. Yep.
Nice.
But anyway, thanks to GeoWizard for giving us the courage to try this ourselves, and congrats on the Norway Planum run.
And if you made it all the way here, thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you for watching.